does this have to do with anything? Tell me what's happening!
Well, you're having a nervous breakdown. That's what's happening.
You're part of this, aren't you?
Roman!
Meryl!
You are scaring me!
You're scaring me, Meryl.
The clip just now from The Truman Show depicts the life of a man being watched by others, and our society is like that. Hi everyone, the topic of our report is online privacy. The internet is a very convenient thing. There is no doubt that our lives are inseparable from this. But do you realize that while you are enjoying the convenience, your personal information is also being stolen? Our report this time is about the privacy of personal network. First, let's look at the definition of online personal privacy. Internet privacy is the extension of privacy in the internet, which means that natural persons enjoy the peace of private life, private information, private space and private activities on the internet, and are protected by law from being illegally violated, known, collected, copied, used and disclosed by others. A personality right also refers to the prohibition of the disclosure of certain sensitive personal information online, including facts, images, and defamatory opinions. For example, you signed up as a member of a website, but this website sells your information to other people, maybe some criminals, black websites, or even FBI.
Mr. Zuckerberg, Facebook recently announced that a search feature allowing malicious actors to scrape data on virtually all of Facebook's 2 billion users. Yes or no?
So what are the specific cases? Let's take a look at the actual example. The first is developed countries. In the United States, Facebook was ordered to pay $650 million in 2015 to 1.6 million affected users for collecting users' facial data without permission. Just a few years ago, Facebook has committed similar wrongdoings in the UK. And in Europe, it happens all the time. In Spain, a man asked Google to delete his search history because he had sold property after bankruptcy. Think about it. Your search history is in the hands of big corporations, which could one day be bought by rivals or competitors and damage your reputation. Of course, the problems of developed countries sound serious, but compared with underdeveloped countries, they seem so insignificant. According to the 2020 survey report of the United Nations Survey, a full one-third of countries do not have legislation to protect online data and privacy. Malaysia has laws on leaking personal information. In Brazil, the financial industry lost more than $100 million due to online fraud in 2005. At the same time, Brazilian e-commerce service providers leaked nearly 1.8 billion personal records. In China, where the network is more developed, this situation is even more obvious. Since there is no online privacy legislation, before 2021, China's personal information is basically semi-transparent, which is reflected in the scam calls in Taiwan. Every time the scammer can accurately say your name, address, and even it's a family relationship, and it's no wonder that many people are deceived. For example, a very common scam is where a scammer pretends to be a police officer or a lawyer to call and tell someone's parents that your child has committed a crime. And while the parents are still suspicious, the scammer will tell them their child's name, school or even their ID number. If it happened in mainland China, the police might still catch the scammers, but due to the special political relationship, scammers from Taiwan can always get away with it. So what is the reason for this? Our group believes that one of the most important reasons is totalitarianism, and it is digital totalitarianism. Is digital totalitarianism? That is, everything about you is already controlled by capitalists and big corporations and some bureaucrats. For example, in China, as long as you search for a product on the internet, no matter what it is, as long as you enter it into the text holder, even if you delete it and retype it, your information will be captured in the background immediately, and the server will recommend it next time. Something you are more interested in. And this blatant crime of stealing personal information was only recently discovered by a programmer, and it was called a better experience for users. In other words, digitalization is becoming more and more convenient now. You only need one line of Miscl code to query the ID card database. However, how do you know that this query is legal? Was this inquiry authorized by the government and not some corrupt official selling everyone's personal information? Let's imagine, if we don't have privacy in front of others, everything about us is faked to us by others, and the news on the video website we watch is calculated by YouTube based on our personal information and search records. Information is sold to criminals who can use it to defraud banks or our relatives. Everything in our lives is like running naked. We are like Truman, living in front of the monitor without noticing it. In many cases, preventing the leakage of personal information cannot be avoided simply by turning off cookies or reducing access to illegal websites. Many large companies are using legal methods to steal the data you voluntarily hand in, and even the government will participate in it. What we need to do is not to stay away from the internet, but to demand the illegalization of these seemingly legal acts, and at the same time popularize the importance of personal information in the hearts of the people, require the people to protect their personal information as they would protect their property, and strive to eliminate the 2/3 of the information has not been protected.